The ghost train late one night, a subway train on the 6th line was mysteriously derailed between stations. The passengers were shocked and frightened as they felt the train shake violently and come to a sudden halt. As they tried to exit the train, they realized that the doors were jammed and wouldn't open. Suddenly, the lights flickered and went out, leaving the passengers in complete darkness. That's when they heard it, the sound of another train approaching from the opposite direction. It was an old, abandoned train that hadn't run in years. The train passed by slowly, making an eerie sound, and then disappeared into the darkness. When the lights came back on, the passengers were safe, but they couldn't shake the feeling that something otherworldly had just happened. The missing train. One evening, a subway train on the 7 line disappeared without a trace. It was carrying dozens of passengers, but no one knows where it went. The train vanished between stations, and despite a thorough search of the tracks and tunnels, it was never found. Over time, rumors began to circulate that the train had gone to another dimension or time. Some people claim to have seen the train passing by on the tracks, but it never stops at any stations. To this day, the mystery of the missing train remains unsolved. The subway stalker. For weeks, a young woman noticed a man following her on the subway. She would see him on the platform, on the train, and sometimes even waiting for her at her destination. At first, she thought it was just a coincidence, but as time went on, she became increasingly paranoid. She reported it to the authorities, but they couldn't find any evidence of a stalker. Then one day, she disappeared. The police searched for her but found no trace. Her friends and family still believe that the subway stalker had something to do with her disappearance. The haunted station. The abandoned City Hall subway station in downtown Manhattan is said to be haunted. Legend has it that a train conductor was killed in a freak accident in the early 1900s, and his spirit still roams the station. Some people claim to have seen a ghostly figure standing on the platform or heard the sound of a train passing through. Others say they felt a cold breeze or heard disembodied voices. The station is closed to the public, but some daring urban explorers have managed to sneak in to experience the haunted atmosphere. The subway sleepwalker. A man who frequently slept on the subway became the subject of a strange mystery. He would always fall asleep on the same train, but when he woke up, he would find himself on a different train heading in the opposite direction. The man was puzzled by this and reported it to the authorities, but they couldn't find any explanation. Eventually, it was discovered that the man had a rare form of sleepwalking that caused him to unconsciously board a different train while he was asleep. The subway cult. A group of people was seen performing strange rituals on a subway train in the middle of the night. They were dressed in all black and had painted symbols on their faces. They chanted in a language that no one could understand and held up strange objects, like bones and feathers. When the train stopped at a station, they disappeared into the darkness, leaving the other passengers shaken and confused. No one could identify who they were or what they were doing, and the incident was never explained. The subway time warp. One day, a subway train on the A line seemed to disappear into thin air. Passengers reported feeling a sudden jolt, and then everything went dark. When the lights came back on, they found themselves in a strange, unfamiliar station. The station looked like it was from a different era, with old-fashioned advertisements and signs. They tried to exit the train, but the doors wouldn't open. After a few minutes, the train suddenly started moving again, and they were back on the regular subway line. No one could explain what had happened, and the passengers were left with a sense of unease. The subway suicide. A woman jumped onto the subway tracks just as a train was approaching. The train driver tried to stop, but it was too late. The woman was killed instantly. The strange thing was that no one had seen the woman before she jumped. There were no witnesses to the incident, and the woman's identity was never discovered. Some people believe that her spirit still haunts the station, and that you can hear her screams late at night. The subway sabotage. A subway train was sabotaged by an unknown person or group. The train was on the N line, and it was carrying hundreds of passengers. Suddenly, the brakes failed, and the train hurtled towards the end of the line at full speed. The driver managed to slow the train down just in time, but several people were injured. No one knew who was responsible for the sabotage, and the incident was never fully explained. The subway secret. A subway train on the J line was discovered to have a hidden compartment that no one knew about. The compartment was located behind a false wall and was only accessible by a secret switch. Inside, there were several strange objects, including old photographs, maps, and a mysterious device that no one could identify. It was unclear who had put the objects there and why, but it was clear that they had been there for a long time. The discovery of the secret compartment sparked a lot of speculation and theories, but the truth remains a mystery.